For me, art for justice means that you put an issue on a canvas and you try to publicize and put it out there so people could realize the importance of the issue.
I definitely agree with that, and it's also engaging the audience to something that you're aware about, but you're also trying to grasp other people's attention with it. Social issues it's more than equality for all. It's kind of more like acceptance. So drawing upon certain issues, you really want to engage those people and accept them, and then also ask that for return. So that's basically what, like, to me, social justice in art signifies: portraying an image and having people understand and accept who you are and your background.
I look at like Banksy's art, and you look at like other artists that are like trying to like bring awareness to things, but I felt like it was something that only like certain people could do, and now that like I realize that I have the power to like bring awareness to issues.
For me, it's really a message of kind of growth towards the future. The students, everybody comes with different personal backgrounds. Everybody sees the world with a different type of lens. And the fact that the students can see some of these kind of chances and opportunities for themselves, rather than seeing various aspects of the world as something that's going to hold them back. I love the kind of hope for the future for them. So for me, that is what it really means to me in terms of their artwork, because through their work they can really express kind of these future hopes, and moving forward with a positive kind of sense of the future, rather than it's kind of like, oh, well, the world's against me, there's nothing I can do, I'm just being held back, and I just have to deal with it. But they have so much a sense of positive hope, and for me that is what really resonated with the concept of art that represents social justice, especially with the students.
Well, I think often in our society we think that everyone should be equal, and then there's a lot of flaws within our system, from a small scale to large scale. So I think art's a great way of bringing some of those issues to light. I think art is really great in that you can learn these technical aspects, but there's a whole nother side that you can use it to inform people, be used as in a sense, like a weapon to create that awareness, create a voice for these people who may not always be heard, and put a visual to a strong message. So I think it's a really empowering experience for all those involved, and then ultimately for the viewers who are going to see this beautiful artwork.
I think we often hear about people making grand statements, articles being published, symposiums and forums, which I think are very valid. They certainly make it onto YouTube and Facebook and all the other social media platforms. But art is something that is temporary, fleeting, but it also can be permanent. A performance, an artistic performance, is in the moment. There may be a recording of it, but once the live performance is finished, it's over. A painting, on the other hand, is something that you can hang on a wall, you can take a photograph of, and it's always going to be there. So the arts and social justice, they go hand in hand. Whether it's music, theater, dance, art, film, those are all, I think, art forms that we as human beings don't necessarily have to have the talent or the grasp to be able to do or perform, but the open eyes, open mind, and open heart to look at and take it in, think about it, and then respond to it. Because The image of that young student standing in front of the tank at Tiananmen Square is still in the front of my mind. The children that were starving in Guatemala that I saw firsthand, still very much on my mind. The children here in East San Jose, where on the average of 1 to 2 are killed a month in the street, are images that are still very much on my mind. And unless we address those issues, those tragic images are always going to be a part of our life, but the images will prompt us, hopefully, to be a little more proactive in bringing about a greater just world.
For me, it really means opportunity, and in a sense, I mean, a lot of these students, I don't know that they have been exposed to as much drama and dance, and so us being able to give them the opportunity to explore drama and dance and movement and voice, and explore the arts in a way, in a really hands-on, experiential way. I think that felt like it felt like a good opportunity, a good thing, and I guess that's what it means for me.
I mean, I'll build on what Jeff said. I think the bottom line is that the opportunity to experience themselves as artists. What does that mean?
Yeah.
To speak, to move, to feel comfortable in themselves, and through that experience, feel a sense of confidence and importance. When we let the school choose who would be in this group, and we said, hey, we're okay. We don't want just all the perfect good kids. We're okay with some of the kids that are a little squirrely, maybe have a harder time sitting in a chair. Well, we got some of those, and they were a fun challenge for us. But perhaps for them, this was a time where they were special and part of the group. The opportunity for those kinds of students and all students to have experiences that are outside their norm. I don't know the actual socioeconomics of these particular students, but I doubt many of them have a chance to take dance classes, and they may have a few other experiences like this at school. So this was special for them to have an extended time, not only with us, again with Reagan, our professional artist come in, was a real treat. And they will hopefully remember this. This might be a spur to try other things. So there's the social justice, the equity to have opportunities for you to be comfortable with yourself and feel confident. Ultimately, to address those issues as you go forward in life, whether they're small and personal or whether they're large and societal, you have to have a self-confidence and a willingness to take risks. And that's what we did in the arts, and that's what we do in the arts all the time.
And I just add to that, on top of the exploration of the arts and being able to explore the dance and movement aspect of things, being able to explore or be conscious of the environment in this project especially was also a big benefit, a big plus, which hopefully they'll think about. It made us think about it quite a bit in terms of how we act in our environment and how we use our environment. And so I think that's another aspect of the social justice component.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the issue of environmental degradation is always impacts the poor communities more directly. Whether there's a polluting plant there, whether it's a refinery, they have to live in those places that are less desirable. That's not necessarily the case with this part of San Jose, but wastefulness is something, we've had examples here in the Bay Area where various well-known affluent people are ignoring the water restrictions. They're going to water their acre of green.
Well, really in different contexts it means different things. I think regarding this project with the NEA, the idea that you have exposure to higher order thinking through the arts is an equity issue, and I think that not all children in every school get to have a chance to exercise their creativity to its maximum and to be pushed in that way. So they're given maybe very simple projects to do, maybe some craft-based art projects to do, that frequently involve sticking pieces of paper together in a way that the teacher has already imagined. And so to be pushed and to do something absolutely new, physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually, that to me is kind of an issue of justice, because I think every child deserves to have that in their education. So I hope that what we're bringing them is the highest quality arts experience, and that is in fact this really fulfilling thing for them, and it helps them develop intellectually and emotionally and on all the levels you'd want a child to develop on. It's also an issue of access. A lot of schools don't support the arts or have a budget for the arts, so in order to get the arts to a lower income school, sometimes a really special situation is needed, special grants and funding and organizations to help. So that I'm really glad that we had a chance to go to a school that doesn't have a lot of arts, especially this kind of dance. Although the teachers there, a lot of them are very creative and use arts when they can in the classroom. But this was really neat to do outside of school with an absolute focus, where the students could really grasp it as a real subject. And I thought that was a beautiful thing.
When I think about justice, I go to Dr. King's saying that peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the presence of justice. When I think about the presence of justice, in light of that, it is to breathe in the tension. And I think of art as a space built for breathing in the tension.